All right, so listen, I'm going to be honest. I got up this morning. I was on a certain path, a little bit of a certain trajectory as pre-scheduled. We look at themes for the week for the show. We're like, okay, we're going to work on this theme. I write every show every morning, fresh, live, that type of thing. But the themes, I set the themes. We set the themes like way ahead of time, right? Like I'll do 24 weeks of themes or 30 weeks of themes, and I'll send them to my team so they can create little pre-roll things and so on and so forth. So themes are set, but shows are not. And the themes are there to give me a little bit of a guideline so then I can kind of keep things, not succinct, but keep things in order so it makes total sense for you. Well, today I was like, I don't really want to talk about that. Shocker, right? Shocker. What best laid plans are not always my best MO of the way that I like to move. And so with that said, today we're going to go a little bit different route, and we might get a little deep, we might get a little serious. I might punch you in the gut a little bit this morning. But my intention is to help you move closer and to move forward towards that best version of yourself that you can possibly be. So we're going to talk about the Joneses today. Oprah is going to join us here in a little bit. We're going to have Oprah on. She's going to join us a little bit later today. I'm also going to tell you a couple little stories that will tap into the essence of what I really want to share, what I feel this morning, and ultimately what I think you can take away, practical application in your life so that you can just do you. Boo.
Welcome to GM3X. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to 8, and the founder of the 800% Elite Club. I hope you're ready for motivation, education, inspiration, celebrity interviews, and thought-provoking conversations, because it's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is, what is today? Today is Wednesday. That's right, CMA Day. Carter Myers Automotive Group, the best and most amazing automotive group in the world. Today is Wednesday, aka CMA Day. It's also November 16th, 2022. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most. And I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. Hey, I'm coming to you live from Virginia. I am in Charlottesville, Virginia, with the Carter Myers Automotive Group team, right? Bunch of amazing individuals. We were doing some training yesterday. We'll be doing some more training today. And as I'm out here, we have been in this series this week. We've been in this series called Corporate Family Values. So it kind of lined up, right? Because we're doing Liza and her company they're a corporation. I wouldn't call them corporate. They're family owned and operated and have been for 98 years, but they do have 1,100 employees. So in many ways, it's a corporation on that level. And so it kind of falls in line, right? We're talking about corporate family values. At the same time, we're out here doing some corporate training, if you want to, I'll call it that. And so we've been in this series this week talking about this thing called corporate family values and really breaking it down. And I was going to continue doing that this week. And this morning, as I was writing the show, I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that today. I don't know if that's really what I want to talk about today, right? And so, where's that feedback coming from? I'm hearing it. There we go. So we're going to pivot just a little bit this morning, right? Because, I mean, I kind of don't want to talk about that, but at the same time, I kind of do. I just want to talk about it in a little bit different way, I guess is a better way to describe it, right? I want to go a little bit different route. Instead of just the business route, I think we need to talk about it on a little different level. So something that I need from you guys real quick, I don't know what's going on over on Facebook. It's really weird. It won't show me the comments, won't show me the updates. And it looks like people are having a hard time finding the show. So if you could do me a huge favor, just go ahead and share this out and also tag your friends that you know are normally here on the show this morning. I'm not real sure what's going on over on Facebook, but it's weird. All right, so, but that's what we're going to do. Listen, corporate family values has been, it's about creating a winning culture, right? A winning culture from how you hire and fire, from being the example as a leader, making sure that you're always leading by example, to the core values of the organization, right? These are all things we've talked about earlier in the week. We talked about training on life skills, not just job skills, all those things, right? We talked about all of those things earlier this week, and that's really what corporate family values is all about. And there's one other corporate family value that's a little bit different, but it does apply, but it's a little bit different. And it's listed as focusing on your goals, not the goals of others. Focusing on your goals, not the goals of others. In other words, to say that in another way, in other words, stop trying to keep up with the Joneses, as they say, and just do you, boo. Just do you. And see, that's where I really want to take this today. I really want to talk to you about what that's like for you to do you and how important it is, the responsibility that you have, how desperately I need you to do you. So we're going to go into all that and more today. Before we do, though, you know what we got to do on this show. Before we do, you know what we got to do.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Stay woke, stay woke.
I don't know if that's too loud or not. I'm using this new tool. So just let me know. Well, you can't let me know because I can't see any comments. I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on today. It's crazy. You can text me, I guess. You can text me. For those of you that know, those of you that don't know. For those of you that know and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. It's also the part of the show where we're going to get our bodies in motion. All right, an object in motion tends to stay in motion, and an object at rest tends to stay at rest. So let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling this morning. Does that sound fair?
Before the sunrise, stepped into my greatest feeling, powerful and energized. Thankful to be alive. Hashtag blessed, write my mission, vision, values, and my gratitude list. I'm building up momentum, I'm making good decisions. I rise, I grind, I get it. Ain't no doubt that I'm committed. Cause who really loses if I don't win? Can't cheat and grind, only get what you put in. So I'm mastering my mental, focused on my physical. I'm developing spiritually and manifesting miracles. I'm gonna get it started, have a party in the morning, and I'ma wake the world is so alarmed. And I hashtag rise and grind.
Don Sankey is here this morning. Megan Martino, I see you. What's up, Megan? Glad you're here as well. Over on
Waking up
Clubhouse.
the nation. Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind.
Is in here this morning. I don't know how to do that. To you. I don't know how to do that to you. Otherwise I would. I see Debbie is up here this morning. What's up, Miss Dana? I can turn the mic up, maybe. How about that? There we go. I'll just turn the mic up a little bit. That I know how to do. What's up, Wendy? I'm glad you're here this morning. Debbie's here this morning. Irene is here this morning. Miranda and Dr. Jeannie. I see Tina. I see Tori. I see Anthony. I see Dr. Shannon and Shelly are up in here this morning. What's up, Marie? How you doing, Christine and Linnell? My guy Brandon that just freaking dropped it down earlier, which was amazing. He's up in here this morning. Everybody's saying loud music. I don't know how to turn it down, so I'm sorry. Sharon and Coco and Judy and Allison and Jackie, Don and William, thank you guys all for being here with me this morning. All right, we're just going to have to dive right in. I'm still learning, okay? Wait, there we go. How about that? I don't know how to just stop the music. I got a new tool. My guy, Pastor Jeff, sent me this new tool so that I could have awesome audio while I'm on the road. And so I'm learning a lot of the pieces of it, but I don't know how to turn down the music. And so I apologize for that. But I do have some cool buttons.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I do have like a couple cool buttons over there. So I'll figure that out a little bit more as we go along. But for today, we're gonna dive right in. I got something special for you today. All right. So my friend Oprah Winfrey is gonna come join us on the show today. She's got something to say to you. Is that cool? Cool.
Every single person who ever came on my show, and I hear there's like 37,000 guests I've talked to. A lot of them came from dysfunction, and a lot of them wouldn't appear to be teachers, but every one of them had something to say that was meaningful and valuable and that I could use to grow myself into the best of myself, which is what all of our jobs are. Your number one job is to become more of yourself and to grow yourself into the best of yourself. And so I had a lot of great teachers, as we all do. I was doing an Oprah show about a decade ago. One of my greatest teachers was a man named John Diaz. We were doing a show called Would You Survive? And on Tuesday, October 31st in 2000, Singapore Airlines Flight 006, a Boeing 747 from Taipei to Los Angeles, took off with 179 souls aboard. 4 crew and 79 passengers perished in that flight, a total of 83 fatalities. There was a typhoon rolling through at the time, and the plane went down the wrong runway. Now, what's interesting, John Diaz was on that plane, and he had several indications, whispers, that he shouldn't have gotten on the plane, but he did anyway. He got on the plane, and he managed to be one of the survivors. And on the Oprah show, I was asking him, what do you think it was that you were one of the survivors? And I said, do you think it was your position on the plane? Because he was in first class and he was sitting on the right next to an exit door. And he said, yes, I think it might have been the position of the plane. And also my quick thinking, he says, and the fact that I didn't stop moving. So I said, you don't believe, you're not a religious man, you don't believe that there was some kind of divine intervention going on there? He goes, no, I'm not a religious person. I do not believe that it was anything divine. I don't believe that. I did see, he said, as I got knocked back into the plane, that it looked like Dante's Inferno, with people strapped into their seats and just burning. And it seemed a bit to me, as I turned and looked backwards, like there was a light coming out of the tops of their heads. I guess you could call it an aura was leaving their bodies, and some lights were brighter than others. It changed, he said, it changed me. It gave me a new kind of spirituality, in a sense, that I now believe somehow, I don't know how, but life continues on somehow through that light. And I thought, I'm not a religious man, but I thought the brightness and dimness of the auras were how one lives one's life, so to speak. So that's one of the major things that really has changed with me since then, he says. I want to live my life so my aura, when it leaves, is one of the brightest ones. I got chills when he said that. How does one lead a meaningful life? Because ultimately, isn't that what we all want? We want to lead a life so that however we transition, people can say, wow, that was a bright one. That was a bright light. First of all, I think that it comes from a deep sense of awareness about who you are and why you're here. It comes from being in touch with, on a regular basis, the appreciation and the holy gratitude that should fill each of our hearts on a regular basis, just knowing what a privilege it is to be here and to be human. To me, successful is getting to the point where you are absolutely comfortable with yourself. It does not matter how many things you have acquired. The ability to learn to say no and not to feel guilty about it, to me, is about the greatest success I have achieved. The fact that I have, in the public side, done whatever, it's all a part of a process for growing for me. But to me, to have the kind of internal strength and internal courage it takes to say, no, I will not let you treat me this way, is what success is all about. It's the same thing that prevents you from being abused as a child, that prevents you from being abused as an adult, that allows you to build success for yourself. I will not be treated this way. I demand only the best for myself. All the mistakes I've made in my life, I've made because I was trying to please other people. Every one of them. There's not one that I've made because I did something because I really wanted to do this for myself. Every mistake I've ever made is because I went outside of myself to do something for somebody else that I should not have, to please them, just for the purpose of pleasing them. You are worthy to say no, that it's okay if you say no. It's okay if you say no and then people don't like you. That's really okay. The important thing is how you feel about what you're doing, how you feel about yourself. It's a long struggle though. And I'm just hoping that, in the work that I do on the show and the speaking that I do around the country, and that young people who are watching this can get the lesson sooner than I did. Because it's painful, because you keep repeating it over and over and over until you get it right. And what I found is that every time you have to repeat the lesson, it gets worse. Because I call it God trying to get your attention, the universe trying to get your attention. So we didn't get your attention the first time, so we're going to have to hit you a little harder this time. So I'm still doing it. I'm still learning. I say many times, the universe is always trying to get your attention. I use universe and God interchangeably. It's trying to get your attention. And sometimes it starts out, any major problem you encounter, it always started out as a whisper. By the time it gets to be a storm, you've had a pebble knock you upside the head, you had a brick wall, you had the house to fall down, and before you know it, you're in the eye of the storm. But long before you're in the eye of the storm, you've had many warnings, like little clues. So now my goal in life is to not to have to hit the eye of the storm, is to catch it in a whisper, to get it the first time. And getting it comes from understanding I think the one thing that has allowed me to certainly achieve both material success and spiritual success is the ability to listen to my instinct. I call it my inner voice. It doesn't matter what you call it, nature, instinct, higher power. But the ability to understand the difference between what your heart is saying, what your head is saying. I now always go with the heart. Even when my head is saying, oh, but this is the rational thing, this is really what you should do. I always go with that little feeling, the feeling. I am where I am today because I have allowed myself to listen to my feelings. I feel that luck is preparation meeting opportunity. One of the biggest lessons I've learned recently is that when you don't know what to do, you should do nothing until you figure out what to do. Because a lot of times you feel like you're pressed against the wall and you've got to make a decision. You never have to do anything. No, don't know what to do. Do nothing. I wait. And that has been a big lesson. To be willing to be still with myself and trust myself and my higher power to help me make the right decision and to not feel pressured
See, I think, we create stress for ourselves because you feel like you have to do what you have to do it. You have to. I don't feel that anymore.
I remember there was this meeting. I was in this meeting with the owner of the dealership and some manufacturers from General Motors, and they were telling us our goals and our targets for the next year. And my boss was just getting more and more angry as the meeting went along. And he used to, when he would get angry, he had this one ear that would turn red. Not both ears, but one ear would turn red. And I could see his ear getting more and more red and more and more red and more red as they were going through, and they were talking about a 2% increase over here, and you would need to add 1.5 more people over the next year, and this was going to be the target, and you would need to adjust this room and change this building and so on and so forth. And I was just watching him quietly get fired up and more fired up. And at one point, about an hour in, maybe even an hour and a half, he just slams his fist on the table, right? Just, and he goes, "Look, I will sit here with you. We can sit here for as long as you guys want to sit here. We can sit here for hours and hours and hours and hours. I will sit here with you. But the moment you leave, I am taking this," which it was like everything was in a big binder, like all their targets and their goals, everything that they had set for us. It was all in this, like in this big binder. And he said, "As soon as you leave, I'm going to take this." And he grabbed it off the table and he threw it across the room. And he said, "And I'm going to use it as a doorstop." He said, "None of this matters to me. These are not my goals. Those are your goals. And your goals don't interest me at all. You don't know anything about my company. You know nothing about my dreams, my visions, where I'm trying to go. So we can waste time doing this, but I'm just letting you know, as soon as you're gone, it'll be a doorstop." And I got to tell you, that was an impactful moment in my life, an incredibly impactful moment in my life. It's the moment that I learned that your goals are what matter. That looking to someone else to tell you where to go or what to do is not the path. Ultimately, it's looking inside and knowing and understanding and trusting yourself is so incredibly important. You know, when I left that operation that I was working at, when I left the dealership world, I was on top. I was the face of the dealership. We were having a lot of success, and I decided to quit my job, even though I had a pregnant wife and was making great money and had lots of success. And when I left, people thought I was nuts. People thought I was absolutely crazy. I can't even tell you how many phone calls I got. People thought I was having a midlife crisis. My guy, Scott Simons, who's probably on here, I'm not sure if he is or not. I'm having some technical difficulties, but my guy, Scott Simons, called me and he was like, "Dude, go back. Like, I don't know what you need to do, but I don't know who you need to apologize to. I don't know what's going on, but you need to go back." He was serious too. He was for real, right? But people thought I was nuts. But see, I knew something deep down inside, and I had to trust. I had to trust myself. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what the path exactly was going to look like. I knew it was going to be bumpy. I knew it was going to be challenging. But I knew I had to trust me, and that no one else could understand. No one else agreed with me. There was no one that was aligned other than my wife. My wife actually surprised me, but No one else was aligned with my decision. It wasn't their vision of it wasn't what they had envisioned for me in my life. Even my mentors and my coaches were shocked. But I had to do me. Just like you got to do you, boo. There's Scott. I see you, Scott. You see, right now, this is a big deal. And that's why I wanted to talk about it today. You and I we're facing a unique world, and young people, the young people that come after us, they are too, right? Like, it's such a comparison world nowadays with Instagrams and TikToks and Facebooks and just all the access that we have to information, visuals, people's words, so on and so forth, right? Like, it's just dangerous. When we start living in this comparison world, it's really dangerous. It causes depression, which we can see it's running rampant amongst amongst everyone, not just our children, right? But when you're constantly comparing your life to others, it causes depression, it causes anxiety. I mean, it's impossible for you to stand in a place of strength and confidence if you're looking at everyone else. Because here's the face of here's reality. The reality is there's always a bigger boat. There's always a happier family. There's always a prettier person. Like, listen, here's the reality. You cannot measure up to the lives of the people on social media. You can't measure up. You can't. You cannot measure up to them in any way, shape, or form. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why you can't measure up to them? You will never be able to do what they do. Never. You will never be able to do what they do. You'll never be able to do it. You know why? Because they're not you. So because whoever they is, because they are not you, you don't know the real down and dirty that's going on in that person's life. You're just seeing the highlights. You don't know the real down and dirty. Like, you don't know what's going on in their closet, right? Like, you don't know what's in the closet. You don't know what skeletons they might have hiding behind closed doors. You don't know. So because you don't know, because they're not you, you can never do what they do. Ever. Ever. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try to copy them or to look like them or to sound like them, no matter how you try to do a hashtag like them or shoot a video like them or have a certain talent or a skill like them, you can study them and you can read their books and you can learn all the things, but you will never, ever, 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 ever be able to be them because they are not you. You don't know the down and dirty. You don't know all of the pieces. You're only getting the highlights. In order for you to do what they do, you have to do what they do. And here's what that means. That means you have to cry when they cry. That means you have to shout when they shout. And as weird as it sounds, that means you have to poop when they poop. Listen, for real. Everybody has crap. Everybody has that crap. That crap that builds up. Everybody's got that crap that builds up. And that only happens behind closed doors, right? No one else ever sees it, but everyone's got it. Everyone's got it. That crap like fear, that crap like worry, that crap like doubt, that crap like shame, all that crap, man. And why is it? Why does everybody have crap, fear, worry, doubt, shame? Well, everybody's got that because, to be honest, we were all born with a sinner's nature. If you don't know or understand what the sinner's nature is, you can read more about it in the book of Romans, which we are studying right now. But the sinner's nature can be summed up like this. We do what we know we're not supposed to do, and we don't do the things we know we should do. You see, we're all born with a sinner's nature. Believer, non-believer, spiritual person, not spiritual person, like Oprah talked about when she was on just a little bit earlier. You can't deny that there are things in your life that you know you should do that you don't do. And you can't deny that there are things in your life that you do that you know you shouldn't do. We all have crap. So listen. This morning I just want to challenge you to forget the Joneses. Instead of trying to keep up or be like the Joneses, what I would like you to do today is I would like it if Megan DiMartino would just be the best Megan DiMartino. And I would like it if Marilyn Wilkin would just work on being the best Marilyn Wilkin, and Christina Howard could be the best Christina Howard. And I need Jeff to be Jeff and Renee to be Renee. We need TM to be TM. I need Yin to be Yin. And if you don't mind Dora Maria, I need you to work on being Dora Maria. And Gail, if you could work on being Gail, and Yolanda Christensen, I'd appreciate it if you would work on being Yolanda. And Tisha White, if you could just work on that, work on being Tisha White, the best version of Tisha White, I would appreciate it. And same with you, Beth Lucchese, if you could just work on being the best Beth. Mr. Fadley, Mr. Kevin Fadley, if you wouldn't mind, please just continue to work on being the best Kevin Fadley that you can be. And Bruce Pover, I'd love for Bruce to just continue to work on Bruce. Don Sankey and Rick Tamburino, Mike Overfelt, and Julio Soto. If you guys could just work on being you, I'd appreciate that. And same with you, Justin Conoco, and Stars Tina, the wonderful and amazing Miss Kate Bowman. I just need more. I need more Kate from Kate Bowman. We just need more Kate Bowman. That's it. Just more Kate Bowman. And same with you, Core Element, and Mindy, and Arpit, and Annette, and Terrence. All my friends that are here with me this morning. I just want you to know that I love you, Brian Hoskins. I do. If nobody's told you guys yet today, I do. I absolutely I love you. And it is out of that love, as you and I are brothers and sisters, right? Children of God, right? The God of the universe, the God that made everything. I would just appreciate it if you would continue to step into your magnificence and bring what you can to the table. And just do you, boo, for real. Whatever that is, whatever that calling is on your heart, whatever that vision is that you have for your future, whatever arena it is that you feel you should be battling in, just, man, don't let the world dim your light. Don't let the world dim your light. You don't need anybody else's approval. You don't need anybody else's understanding. Just go do you. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, listen, if you want to go talk about this a little bit more, we'll be over on Clubhouse For those of you that are watching live, we'll talk about this a little bit more on Clubhouse. If you're watching this later in the day, you can go into Clubhouse. We have a show called Breakfast with Champions. You can check it out over there. Motivation, education, inspiration, celebrity interviews, thought-provoking conversations. Or if you are past 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, then just come back here again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. and we'll do this all over again right here on GM3X. Sound fair? It sounds fair.
So far away, I saw you not so long ago. Was it just yesterday? Got that old feeling that I know. In the dark of the night, I'll be alright. The sun will arise. Of messages overtaking what I know. A war is a whisper, and it's coming for my soul. In the dark of the night, I can see the light. The sun will arise. The sun will arise. Set me free. I was searching for someone to fight for me. I'll remember it's your light that shines on me. I won't be afraid, I will look to the light. I will not be shaken, I know it will be alright. 'Cause you're with me, I know that the sun will rise.